Hello, my name is Garry Crole, the CEO of Sequoia Financial Group, and today I am joined by Bernie Fernandes, a highly regarded employee of Sequoia as the state manager of WA and South Australia. And the reason I have elected to interview Bernie today is because last week we celebrated 45 years of your career in the industry, Bernie, and it's my days go back. I remember when I was in my early days and know you from Tyndall and Mercantile Mutual, and it's been a long and very successful career where you've added a lot of intellectual property and a lot of friendships. And what do you think are the most significant changes over this 45 years of your history in financial services and landing at Sequoia? Bernie.
To me, the biggest change, Gary, has been us going from an industry to a profession, and just seeing the contribution that financial planners are wanting to put back into, given what they learned and the experiences they had, wanting to put something back into the industry and helping their peers and the next generation of planners come in. A good example of that is what Sky is doing in South Australia with the planner forums and around Australia and other states, and about to roll that out in WA as well.
Very good. And your career includes being an underwriter, being a sales development person, estate manager, and an advisor. And one of the things that I've noticed in our time working together, and I respected from afar, was we talk to advisors about their work habits, but your work habits are off the scales, Bernie. So would you like to sort of share a little bit about your work habits and how you share your own work habits with advisors so they have become more successful?
Yeah, look, my ethics is to, I run Sequoia, W in South Australia, like I'm the business owner, akin to what a financial planner is. And, we start essay time, we finish bedtime, but it's never 9 to 5. There's always people needs after hours and on the weekend. And I always tell the planners I'm only a phone call or email away, and will respond in a timely manner, akin to what they do with their clients. They're always there to assist them. So, but I think it's the business first approach that I'm running a business for in Western Australia and South Australia called the Sequoia Financial Group. And a business owner doesn't pick the hours, doesn't pick the time. They're there for their clients.
Mm. Would you mind sharing some of that IP, like your 90-day plan and your model week? I'm aware of those because you're bringing that across our network, which is amazing. But tell me how you discovered this sort of 90-day plan process and your model week that you aspire to.
I've seen a lot of business coaches in my time who put together these fantastic models. They create a big business plan that gets reviewed once a year. And I thought I needed to break it down from there. So no point waking in 12 months' time and realizing what you haven't achieved. I thought bring it down to 90 days and then sit down with the planner every 30 days to review. And what worked, we continue to do. What didn't work, how do we address that to ensure for the next 30 days we overcome those obstacles. And then at the 90-day mark to review it and set in tone what we're going to do for the next 90 days. So towards middle of December, I sat down to review the year and then what I'm going to do for the next 12 months, and then break it down starting from January. So I hit the ground running in January rather than waking up in January and planning what I'm going to do for the year. And this is interesting. Last month I was in Adelaide and I sat down with Marion and went through a 90-day plan with her. And Marion's response was, I've been with 4 dealer groups, and this is the first time someone's actually sat down and done some basic business steps in my practice that enables me to move forward for the next 30 days and the one after that, rather than trying to be overwhelmed and get ahead of myself for the next 12 months. It's just a simple template, one page, where we go through what your goals and aspirations are, and then putting them in paper, and then sitting down with your state manager every month and reviewing it and ensuring you achieve it.
Yeah, and a lot of advisors don't do business plans or have this 90-day plan, or it's a bit like the hairdresser has hair like me and doesn't get it cut properly, and the financial planner tends not to have their own business plan on occasion. What do you think the reason for that is?
Predominantly, when you look at the costing, it's $50,000, $80,000, $100,000 that they have to pay the business coach and these individuals who aspire to provide advice on business planning to our advisors, but have never been a planner themselves. To me, it's more important that sitting down and listening to the practitioner, what he or she wants to achieve, what has worked, and sometimes bringing in an ex-planner, or if they tell me where the practice is going to be in 2, 3, 4 years' time, getting someone who's already grown their practice to that level to sit down with them and sharing their experience and avoiding some of the challenges and mistakes, for want of a better term, that they made, but helping the practitioner to go to that next level, and having a peer talk to them and explain to them their experiences carries far more weight than a business coach or an external resource company that's never been a practitioner.
Mm-hmm. And you've seen all sorts of advisors over your time. If there was sort of 3 or 4 skills or characteristics or traits that you could give to somebody, what do you think is the difference between those who are really successful and those who just desire to be?
Willingness to learn and accept when something could have done better and adapt to change. Education, contribution to the industry and contribution to your peers. Client focus is the number one. If you always, instead of going out and buying registers, if you focus on your client base you got at the moment and help those clients to achieve their goals, their centers of influence and their family and friends will follow. So client focus, communication, engagement with peers in the industry who may have advice to give, sometimes good, sometimes not so good. Participation in licensee forums where we get people together, PD days, just the opportunity to network. It can be a lonely industry if you try and do it on your own, but if you engage with your business partner, which is what a licensee is, we will help you to get to where you want to go to without you having to stretch yourself too far.
Yeah, and going back to your days as an underwriter, do you want to share some of the observations that you had working with advisors from the underwriter's perspective, and whether relationships were important or whether it was just purely an actuarial, mathematical, read the etc. And that part of your role, because you were one of sort of 3 or 4 underwriters that the industry really treasured and wanted to deal with, opposed to sort of being a faceless underwriter. What's your thoughts on that?
I had a team of 7 underwriters in Perth, and I used to say to them, one day I was listening to a conversation between one of my team members and a planner, and when they hung up, I got the team together and said, there's a difference between a cricketer and an underwriter. In cricket, you're as good as your last innings. In underwriting, you're only as good as your next application. So just remember, your clients are the advisor, not the policy holder. Treat that client, i.e. the advisor, with courtesy and respect, and you will be next time they're looking to place the insurance, they will look to us rather than one of our competitors. They can get plenty of apathy from the other underwriters and insurance companies. They come to us for service, and we need to be renowned for being client focused first. And that client is back then the insurance advisor, now a financial planner. And going that extra mile, like if we couldn't place the cover because of reinsurance restrictions, faxing, now you email, but back in the day we would fax the medical information to one of the other insurers who maybe was using a different reinsurer and able to place some cover for the client where we couldn't, but at least they came to us first. Likewise, if on an application we saw that they had gone to two other companies, only gave us, say, the income protection, but went for trauma and life cover somewhere else, we would fax a congratulations letter to the advisor saying, application received yesterday, accepted today. Based on the medical information disclosed, we can provide the following terms for the trauma and life company, hoping to put some service standards that bettered what our competitors were doing and to help our BDMs get further new business from that particular advisor.
And you've seen the worst and the best of the advice industry over your 45 years. So, probably a difficult question to answer off without prep, but who would be sort of the one or two top advisors that you recall, without giving their names, but what specifically did they do? Were they generalists or were they specialists? Or if you could think about sort of the two most successful advisors you've come across in this 45 years, what made them stand out?
The first one that comes to mind is a practice that started off with me 15 years ago, and started off with one book, and we put in place some referral partners in accounting, legal, and lending, and we constantly kept running client seminars every 3 to 6 months and inviting each other's clients in there. We sat down and did a review with the business partners every 30 days, or the practice manager, just an informal catch-up, and then a board of advice every 90 days. And I find where the most successful practices have been is they bring in industry experts, external experts, some clients to critique the business and accept the feedback. And taking on the advice now, no fees would be paid until the board of advice would sign off that the particular business owner had achieved the goals. I recall one instance in the other side where I was chairing the board of advice, and my recommendation to the board was for that quarter we would not pay the invoice that had been put forward to us, because that particular planner, the goals that we had discussed at the last 3 business reviews, he hadn't followed through. And the board agreed that we were not going to pay the invoice. And he sacked me as the chairman of his board and replaced a number of board members. But 9 months later, they came back to us and said, I feel like I'm throwing a dart and it lands somewhere. I'm successful, but my business is going pear-shaped again. So we came back, sat down with the MD of the life insurance company I was working with at the time, and we pushed it back. And to this day, wherever I've gone, that individual has still referred other planners to me and said, told them, look, go and join Bernie, because his fees may be in the top quartile, but it's not the fees that you need to focus on. It's the value that his employer will bring to your practice, and then some with his referral partners.
Yeah. And I might finish with one last question, but obviously congratulations on an amazing career, and thank you for the contribution you've made to Sequoia, but the industry more so. Over the years, it's just, and I think often it's a thankless task in some ways. Other ones, we get our own motivation. So, what motivates Bernie Fernandes to do what you do day in, day out, and for 45 years? What's your motivation to have done what you've done, Bernie, so well?
Having fun where I'm at, and I'm clearly enjoying my time here. Watching practices grow from there to there, introducing new referral partners to them. Sequoia's model in accounting, legal, and lending, our referral partners are so keen to be involved with us. And the fact that I can bring that in Perth and Adelaide and try and increase our model to another level, bringing in referral partners in artificial intelligence and business development that I've put through to you recently, providing those add-on facilities that can form part of our business model. But, I fly to Adelaide every month, and Paul said to me the other week, I'm so glad Garry didn't employ someone in Adelaide, because we love the energy and drive you bring in and the different ideas you bring in. But on the flip side to that, when I come back to Perth at the end of the week, I'm sitting in the plane covering 2.5-hour flight with writing notes on what I'm going to do different in Perth. So it's an amazing profession we're in. It's exciting times, because I think whereas a lot of people think the industry, the numbers are down and what have you, I see the glass half full, and that there's going to be client bases to be had. There's going to be opportunities to grow and develop. And the next 3 to 5 years are going to be the most exciting we've had in the best part of the last 20 years in our industry. And I can't wait to be a part of your team and to help our planners to head in the right direction and get there.
I'll do a Columbo and ask just one more question. You got a black cat behind you. Often the industry suffers from the black dog challenges. So a lot of advisors get depressed with the isolation, and we're often criticised for what we do, or for what others do. What sort of words of wisdom do you have for those advisors who are struggling? And we always talk about you just got to get back up one more time, but sometimes it's not that easy. So you would have seen hundreds of advisors struggle. Some of them get up and some of them don't. So what's your messaging for that?
Look, there's a number of things. Always pick up the phone and talk, and I don't mind what time of the day it is or night. Pick up the phone and talk to us. There is a solution. There is an opportunity. I had an instance 5 years ago where I managed to stop a planner going down a very terrible path, and 9 months later, when we kept catching up on the weekend, doing team activities, catching up one-on-one, when he got married, he pulled me up and introduced me to his future wife and said, these are the times when being self-licensed is not as good as being part of a group, because I was part of the family, and this is the family member in Perth. I do a bit of work with the SAS Trust, and as you know, our Melbourne Cup luncheon, we invite a number of widows from the SAS to come and join us at the luncheon, and a number of their soldiers have put up their hand where I've found someone needs some support. They've quickly come back and helped me to have a one-on-one chat with any planners doing it tough. But I found probably the hardest challenge is sometimes our peers in the industry, the redundancies are going through and what have you, and they can't see a change in direction. And I always say to them, I was a BDM, I was an underwriter, I was a state manager, insurance companies. You need to keep your personal and business development going. It never stops. You never stop learning, There's always something different you can do, and the skills you learn, you are of value somewhere else. But just keep. It's important that we work in a BDM's business, i.e., helping them with inflows, at the same time keeping a check on their personal activities and drives. I got 15 of them that I keep in touch with in Perth, and so far only 5 in Adelaide, but I'll grow it. It's so important to have that interaction with them, as it is with our planners, not just doing 90-day or 30-day business plans, but doing 90-day and 30-day personal checks on them as well, and picking up the 1%ers that you can see, because they see themselves as part of the Sequoia family. Well, the Sequoia family is not just there for the good times with the inflows. The Sequoia family is there on the weekend when you need to make a call because times are not good. So reach out to you, me, to Justin, Stephen, talk to us. Let us know what's going on, because we can go to Floriana and come back with a solution and help you.
No, thank you, Bernie, and thank you for being a part of the Sequoia team, and congratulations on your 45 years, and may there be many, 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 many more.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for your time.